Hello, and welcome to Beyond Books, where we talk about books and go beyond. I'm your host. I'm Renee. Co-host is resting. She didn't want to come down here, so it's in the evening. I usually record during the day, so I don't know, maybe she's tired. Just didn't really want to come down and participate, so oh well. Today, as you're watching this, it is Tag Tuesday. So I wish you a happy Tag Tuesday. And what we're going to do today is the BookTube behind the scenes tag. Now, I was tagged by several people on this one. I was tagged by Alan at Alan Reads. I was tagged by Pat at Book Chat with Pat and Stuart at Stuart Griffin. And it says that this is an original tag created by Bob at Robert G. Reader of Books. And in this video, Bob said the following. This is an original tag about booktubers and their posting habits. Some of the prompts are about the mechanics of posting, editing, graphics, sound effects, etc., while others focus on the politics of posting, such as responding to comments, avoiding certain topics, and self-censoring. All right, so he says he looks forward to our responses, and let's see what we can do. So here are the prompts. Prompt number 1 says, when recording a post, do you read from a prepared script, or do you prefer notes or a broad outline? Or do you speak extemporaneously? Well, for the majority of the time, at least, I do follow a script. I'm not afraid to add some extemporaneous comments here and there, but I'm mostly scripted in advance for my videos. I do very few just off the cuff. It just helps me so much to organize my thoughts, to stay on track, and to try to reduce the ums and ahs and just kind of wasted time there in a video. So yeah, that's how I do mine. Prompt number 2, do you edit before you post, deleting hems and haws, misspeaks, mispronunciations, and other common public speaking foibles? I like that. Do you remove things you didn't mean to say, or off-topic thoughts or comments you think might be misunderstood? That's a good question. Generally speaking, I'm just going to say no to all of it. I don't usually edit the video once it's recorded. I leave the little pauses and even a lot of times mispronunciations, unless it's a consistent problem throughout the video. And then I may, reshoot the video or edit out something that is really not very well done at all. But it's pretty rare. Most of the time I post just after I'm done recording. And now sometimes I'll also, if I've mispronounced something and I realize it later, I'll put it in the description that I've made that mistake, or else I'll put a little text on the video saying, whoops, said the author's name wrong or something like that. A couple times I've held up books upside down, so. Prompt number 3, have you ever edited a post after posting? Have you ever deleted an entire post? I've never edited after posting, for sure. I know that for sure. The only 2 videos I ever removed from my playlist were Christmas videos that I had done for 2023. I had only had my channel for about a month at that time. One I re-released for Christmas of 2024, and the other I just redid entirely because the sound wasn't very good. I wasn't using any external microphone at that time. And it was me reading the night before Christmas poem, so it was easy enough to just redo. Prompt number 4, are there certain topics you avoid, things you regard as too personal or too controversial? Again, generally speaking, I do think there are topics that I just wouldn't discuss on my channel. Things that don't really go maybe with my brand, if you will, if you want to call it that. Um, they would either, that would be something like maybe either uh, really condemning like one political side of the aisle, or just really rallying towards the other side or something like that, or a political cause that is just really controversial, something that is, I want to say that that's beyond the scope of this channel. This channel just isn't meant for something like that. It isn't that I don't have political opinions. It's just that I don't really feel like this is the place to share them. But otherwise, I've tried my best to stay balanced and factual when I talk about banned books, or, maybe anything else that I know is a controversial or a divisive topic in some way. Now, obviously, there are personal things that I wouldn't discuss on my channel because, again, it's just not appropriate. But when I do talk about more personal issues, like like what I read in a month or something. Again, I just try to stick with facts as much as possible. So that's the way I handle that. Seems like it's worked out good so far. Number 5 is, do your posts include graphics, special lighting, music, fast cuts, or other design enhancements? Again, I'm going to say no in general. What you see is what you get. I do keep in mind to try to make my videos visually interesting, especially when I record something outside and I'm, showing something like a tourist site or, something like that. And even indoors, I've recorded actually many videos in other rooms besides just this one, even though this is the most common place, at my desk where I usually have a lot of my books around, and it's a good spot to do the videos in. But I don't always record from the same spot. Prompt number 6, do you have a target number of posts each week? And I'm going to say, yes, I do to that one. That number is 3. Most of the time I do hit that target. I usually post Tuesdays, Thursdays, and then it'll either be like Saturday or Sunday. So depending on what week it falls on, I might stick another one in there. But yeah, that's kind of Tuesdays and Thursdays are days that you can pretty much count on. And then usually one of the weekend days. It's not a magic number, 3, although it does sound like a good number. It's a spiritual number, so yeah. But it's just what I feel I have time for, and that gives me also enough time in between the videos to actually have something to say. So yeah, it seems to work. Prompt number 7, are there certain themed posts you contribute to regularly, such as Poetry Thursday or What You Are Reading Wednesday? The only ritual that I honor really on a regular basis on my channel is Tag Tuesday. I do a TBR at the beginning of the month, a wrap up at the end, an unboxing of my book of the month if I do get one that month, and then a full review of that book of the month choice, and of course the continuing discussion of the banned books. That's pretty much my format, and I've been sticking with that for over a year now, actually. Prompt number 8, how important to you is the number of your subscribers? Is there a target number you're hoping to reach? If you don't hit your target, would you consider dropping out of BookTube? Are your posts designed to attract new subscribers? And are you distressed if you lose subscribers? So there's a lot of questions there. So let's break it down. This is why I have a script, right? Um, okay, the number of subscribers is important to me in the sense that I like to know that people like and are watching my videos. So when they subscribe, it's a way for others to basically just kind of show some love and some degree of commitment to that channel. They're saying, hey, I wouldn't mind seeing more of this. So it's kind of a good starting place, really. When you post a video, you hope that at least some subscribers will take a look at that video, as well as new viewers. Um, Once it seems like too that you hit a certain number of subscribers, and I have a hard time saying exactly what that is. It might be different for different people, but I think for me, it was when I hit around 500. It's enough of a number to where you can make some sense out of the statistics that they give you on YouTube, because YouTube can tell you how many people watched your video, how many were subs, that kind of thing. And the numbers can be a little bit more meaningful when you have a certain number of subscribers there to work with. The numbers just, hit a point where they become more meaningful, I would say. Um, Now, I wouldn't say that there's a specific target for me as far as subscribers, other than what, like I just mentioned, just to get more meaning out of the numbers. But I would hope that the number would always continue to rise, even if it's very slowly sometimes, and sometimes it really is. It feels like it's a crawl. But, as long as you're going up, to some degree, then, I think that that's something to just keep an eye on and help you to realize that, you're going in the right direction with your channel. Now, the only way I would drop out of BookTube because of subscribers or losing subscribers would be if I lost just a tremendous amount, say in a very short time, overnight or something, and suddenly no one was viewing my channel. Well, then why continue doing it? But before I gave it up, I mean, I would try to do everything I could in my power as an intervention to help the numbers go back up. But if that weren't working, I think then I would kind of suspect that maybe I missed a memo somewhere. And I would try to figure out where everyone went, because I would start to suspect that maybe a new platform has taken over and I'm not aware of it. So, yeah. Now, the other question about the new subs, I want to say that my posts are not really designed necessarily to attract, I think it was either new subs or new viewers. But I will say that I do try to do different things to keep and attract, viewers of all kinds, old and new. If it's the same old stuff, then I think people start getting bored. Even with the tags, I'll try to figure out one that is maybe unlike the recent ones I've done, just to start having something different to say. Otherwise, you find yourself kind of showing the same books, talking about the same things over and over. If you have new viewers, that's fine because they've never heard that information before. But I have a lot of people that have watched my channel for quite a while, pretty regularly, So, yeah, you want to kind of mix it up a little bit too. So I keep kind of a little bit of an eye on that, if you will. I'm really not distressed when I lose subs. I think it's just part of being on YouTube, really. And most of the time, if anything, it's just a few here and there. Maybe they subbed because they liked a particular video, and then later they find out that, my channel is just not what they thought. And that's fine. That happens to me as well. Or perhaps it's someone who, just left YouTube altogether, and, deleted their sign-on code and all of that stuff. And that just doesn't have anything to do with me, so I can't take that personally. But it's so few that it really doesn't bother me, and often I don't even think about it or probably even notice it. Prompt number 9, do you always respond when tagged? I usually respond to say thank you to the person who tagged me. I don't always maybe do the tag, but I often do the tag when I'm tagged. When I do, I will credit them for tagging me, and I also credit the original tag creator as well. So prompt number 10 is, do you respond to viewers' comments? Are your responses lengthy or only a thumbs up or down? Yeah, I do always respond, I think. Every once in a while, I might just put a thumbs up and heart or something like that. But for the most part, I do give a response, generally a sentence or two, and it'll be, to make a response to what their comment was. Even the funny, silly ones. I like the funny, silly ones because then I can respond with something funny and silly, hopefully, too. So, I like that. Prompt number 11, have you ever blocked anyone from viewing or commenting on your posts? That's a good question as well. And I'm going to say yes. They were people who were, phishing, self-promoting, that kind of thing. That's all it's been so far. I've had a few, I'll say kind of weird comments. They just seem a little bit like they're out of left field, or I'm not sure if the person maybe listened to the whole video. It'll be something like that where I'll kind of question, am I actually reading this right? But so far, nothing that I couldn't handle or, that I felt required actually blocking the person. So really, it's been for marketing things. Number 12, tag some BookTube friends. And first of all, I'd like to tag anyone who is watching this video. But also I will tag some specific channels in the comments. So yeah. So that's what goes on behind the scenes here on the Beyond Books channel. Other than that, it's, book and snack shopping, preparing for videos, adjusting my lighting, getting mic'd up, sound check, costuming, makeup, those kinds of things. Lots of prep. Anyway, please consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. Make the algorithm happy today by hitting the like button, and please stop by again. If you have any comments, you know where to leave them, and have a great day.